for this video, we are going to discuss about trigonometric functions in the unit circle and trigonometric functions of real numbers. So first, let us review the discussion that we have last meeting. So let's say we are asked of getting the trigonometric coordinate pair for the degree measure of 510. So let's say we are given this degree measure. We have 510. So to get its coordinate pair, trigonometric function in the unit circle, let us first graph 510. So 510 probably looks like this. So this is your x-axis, this is your y-axis. Okay, and then let's say this is in standard position starting on the positive x-axis. One complete rotation is 360. And then up until this quadrant, dito sa ating y-axis, positive y-axis, we have 450. So 510 is actually somewhere here. Okay, so this is your 510. This is where your arrow is pointed. This is 510 degrees. So remember, what you have to do is apply the concept of triangle, of right triangle in getting the trigonometric function for this angle. So we will draw a triangle here that probably looks like this. Okay, so according to what we discussed, your hypotenuse is always 1, that is opposite your right angle. The shorter leg is 1/2, and then the longer leg is square root of 3 over 2. Okay, those are the standard units for the triangle. But since we are in quadrant 2, you have to remember that the coordinate pair for quadrant 2 is negative, positive. Okay? Negative, positive. So, you also have to recall the relationship of x and y when it comes to sine and cosine. So, we say that x is to cosine and then y is to sine. So, those are the respective pair. So, how do we identify sine? Sine 510. Okay, let's start with sine. Sine 510 is actually the side of the triangle that is parallel to your y-axis. So, y-axis natin ay ito, parallel to that is the shorter leg. That is your sine. Okay? So, sine 510 is actually 1/2. 1/2. But if you recall, we also discussed SOHCAHTOA. So, 510 is actually in this angle. So, pag sinolve natin yung sine, that's so, that is opposite 1/2 over hypotenuse. 1/2 over 1, that still is 1/2. That is positive since nasa quadrant 2 tayo. Okay, positive yung ating y coordinate. And then for cosine 510, okay, we have here cosine is to x. So what is in the x-axis or parallel to your x-axis? So we have square root of 3 over 2. However, you have to remember this is in quadrant 2. Your x-coordinate must be negative. So, cosine 510 is actually negative square root of 3 over 2. And then, let's add to the discussion, to the explanation. Let's try getting tangent 510. So, tangent 510 is equal to, you have to also remember this. Tangent is equal to y over x or sine over cosine. Okay, that is actually sine over cosine. That's your tangent. So, if your sine is 1/2, therefore, you have 1/2 over negative square root of 3 over 2. Okay, that's for your tangent. Sine, 1/2, cosine, negative square root over 2. And then to simplify this type of fraction, you can simply do the traditional solution, 1/2, and then times the reciprocal of this, negative 2 over square root of 3, and then you cancel 2. So we will be left with 1 over square root of 3, and then eliminating the radical expression in the denominator, you multiply this by square root of 3. Square root of 3 over square root of 3. So therefore, you'll have here square root of 3 over 3. Okay, so this can be your answer. This can be your solution. Or you can also apply this technique. For the numerator, you multiply the outer terms. This is only applicable to four-layer fractions. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4. Tatlo yung bar. May apat yung number. So, outer, you multiply that. That is 2. And then inner, we have 2 times square root of 3. So that is 2 square root of 3. And then positive divided by negative is negative. And then here we'll be canceling 2. So we'll also be left with 1 over square root of 3. And then same process, multiply by square root of 3, square root of 3. This is square root of 3 over 3. So tangent, okay, we forgot that this is negative. I'm sorry. This is negative. The answer is negative. This is also negative, and then this is negative. Okay? So, for the tangent 510, your answer is negative square root of 3 over 3. Some references, they accept 1 over square root of 3. But if we apply our prior rules, diba, we don't really put radical expression in the denominator. So, we try to simplify that. Pero in other reference, you can see 1 over square root of 3. They are actually equal. We are just trying to rewrite it in the most acceptable form. So, quick recap for 510 degrees, you draw the angle, and then you apply the right triangle rule. This is, for clarification, not all given angles can be solved using the right triangle. You just have to identify then if the reference angle of 510 is under the group of special angles. Okay? If the reference angle is somewhere between 30 or 60 or 45. Okay? Only then you can apply the rule of right triangles. Kapag wala dun sa angles na yon, there are other way naman. Okay? But, or which is much complicated. So, we only discuss this kasi this is easier to understand right now, and we only have few time together. So, we have 510. I forgot to mention that 510 has a reference angle of 30. 30. Okay, ito yon. This is your reference angle, 30. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. That is important. You have to identify first, ano bang reference angle ng given angle na ito. Can I apply here the 30, 60, 90 triangle? Okay, since it's 30, you can apply 30, 60 triangle, and then you draw the triangle as just like this. Apply the standard units 1, 1/2 square root of 3 over 2. Remember to consider the sign in the quadrant where the angle or where the terminal side of the angle is, and then recall lang yung relationship natin with x and y coordinate with your sine and cosine, and then from there you can identify the sine, cosine, tangent. Actually possible din yung secant, cosecant, and cotangent, okay, but we'll have that later on. And then for the trigonometric pair, you can write here for 510 degrees, your coordinate pair will be negative square root of 3 over 2, comma, 1/2. Okay? Whereas you can answer that sine 510 is 1/2, cosine 510 is square root of 3, negative square root of 3 over 2. And then tangent is negative. Since negative and positive yung ating pagdi-divide, opposite sign sila. Negative square root of 3 over 3, which is also shown here. Okay? So let us try another example. Just to make this clearer, yung shampoo clearer. Okay, so let's say you have the angle, you are given the angle of 600. So let's say we have 600 degrees. Okay, so drawing your angle, you have one complete rotation is 360. So 360, 450, 540, and then somewhere here. Okay, that is your 600 degrees. Okay, and then the reference angle of 600 degrees is this one. We have here 60 degrees. So, pasok din siya for 30, 60, 90. If you draw the triangle, probably it looks like this. Okay? So, the hypotenuse is still 1. The longer side is square root of 3 over 2, and then the shorter side is 1/2. Okay? So, we answer this is in quadrant 3. We know that the sign of the coordinates will be negative, negative. So, your coordinate here will be negative 1/2 kasi yun yung nasa x, di ba? And then, yung kaparallel ng y is negative square root of 3 over 2. That is your coordinate. So, how did we do that? We just simply draw the angle, draw the triangle, write the standard units 1 for the hypotenuse, 1/2 for the shorter leg, square root of 3 over 2 for the longer leg. And then, consider the sign in the quadrant kung nasaan yung terminal side ng ating given angle. And then, since it's negative, negative, your x-coordinate is 1/2, your y-coordinate is square root of 3 over 2, both negative. So if we answer here, if you are asked of sine 600, you can easily say that sine 600, okay, your sine is the y coordinate, so you answer negative square root of 3 over 2. And then if you're asked of cosine 600, you answer with the x coordinate or negative 1/2. Okay, so for tangent 600, we have sine over cosine. So we have square root of 3 over 2 all over 1/2. So applying the technique that I previously mentioned, outer you have 2 square root of 3 over the denominator. For the inner, you have 2 times 1. Okay, that is for the inner terms. And then you'll cancel 2. Tangent 600 is now equal to square root of 3. Okay, so we write here, since both of them are negative, the answer will be positive. Tangent 600 is equal to positive square root of 3. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Okay, and then next to that, we'll discuss trigonometric functions for real numbers. So it is stated that for that particular topic that if we have t as any real number, we let p of x comma y or a particular coordinate pair be the coordinates of the circular point pt that lies on the terminal side of the angle with radian measure t. So from that, kindly check the last slide in my PowerPoint presentation. I have there two boxes containing the values for the 6 trigonometric functions. The first box, yung pinakaunang box in that slide, that pertains to the value of sine, cosine when it comes to a given point wherein the radius is equal to 1. That is exactly in the unit circle. The lower box, yung darker box, that gives you the formula for the trigonometric functions when there is a given radius. But probably they are actually almost the same. So we'll be discussing yung dun sa unit circle, which is when radius is equal to 1. So for that, we'll have an example of a given point. We have P of T, such as the coordinate is 3 over 5, comma, negative 4 over 5. So what you have what you need to do first is to identify its radius, or check na din natin if it's in the unit circle. Oh, we check whether this point is in the unit circle or not. Okay? That's a dual purpose na din naman kasi by doing so, you can also get the value of its radius. So, in order to do that, we'll just follow the formula x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared. Okay? Since we are checking this in comparison with the unit circle, we'll just substitute this is your x, this is your y. So, we have 3 over 5 quantity squared plus negative 4 over 5 quantity squared is equal to, let's say we are checking this with respect to the unit circle, we have 1 squared. Diba? 1 squared. So, 3 over 5 squared is 9 over 25. And negative 4/5 squared is 16 over 25. This is equal to 1. 1 squared is 1. And then, common denominator naman nila is 25. So, we can add the numerator. We have 25 over 25 is equal to 1. Which is also correct naman, which is 1 is equal to 1. So, therefore, from this solution, we say that the given point is actually in the unit circle with radius of 1, of course. So, if that is the case, you can now identify the 6 trigonometric functions using this coordinate pair. So, your x coordinate is 3/5, your y coordinate is negative 4/5. So, from that, we identify first sine t. Sine t is equal to, remember, sine is to y, di ba? That is equivalent to your y coordinate, which is negative 4/5. So if you're asked what is sine t of the given coordinate, your sine t is negative 4/5. Your cosine t, on the other hand, is the x coordinate. Okay, so ano yung x-coordinate dun sa given point? Yun naman ay 3/5. So, cosine t, on the other hand, is 3 over 5. And then, tangent t, that is y over x, as I mentioned kanina, ibig sabihin, that is sine over cosine. So, ano yung sagot natin for sine t? That is negative 4/5 over positive 3/5. Okay, so simplify ulit natin itong fraction na to. Outer, that is negative 4 times 5, we have 20, negative. And then inner, we have 5 times 3 is 15. So, this is actually equal to, let's write it here na lang. Tangent t is equal to negative 4 over 3. Diba? Lowest term of negative 20 over 5. So, tangent t is equal to negative 4 over 3. And then, for cosecant t is the reciprocal of sine t. That is equal to 1 over y. Again, cosecant t is the reciprocal of sine t. Okay, so if sine t is negative 4/5, cosecant t is negative 5 over 4. Kabaligtaran siya, or reciprocal. And then, secant t, on the other hand, this is the reciprocal of your cosine t. So, this is 1 over x. So, if your cosine t is 3/5, your secant t is 5 over 3. Okay? And then, for your cotangent t, that is the reciprocal of your tangent t. So, if your tangent t is y over x, cotangent t is x over y. So, which is, di ba, na-solve na natin kanina, your tangent is negative 4 over 3. So, your cotangent is negative 3 over 4. Okay? So, quick recap lang natin for this example. This example is for the point in the unit circle. Okay? So, first, what you have to do is to check whether this point is really in the unit circle. So, if yes, you can follow these formulas. Okay? This is actually in the last page last slide in my PowerPoint presentation. So, sin t is equal to your y coordinate. Isa lang naman yung point na binigay, ito lang. So, your y coordinate is negative 4/5. That is equivalent to sine of the given point t. Okay? And then cosine t is the x coordinate. So, that is 3/5. And then tangent T is what I mentioned, y over x. So you just solve for that. Be careful then sa mga sign. So since this is negative and positive, your tangent T is negative. And then the rest for cosecant, secant, and cotangent, they are reciprocals of the three na unang na-mention. So, sine is to cosecant, cosine is to secant, and tangent is to cotangent. Okay? So, reciprocals lang sila. So, if this is y, for cosecant, you have 1 over y. So, babalik na rin nyo lang yung numbers. Okay? I hope this is clear to all of you. This is trigonometric functions in the unit circle. The other one, if you're curious, the other one, dun sa babang box, that is when the point is not in the unit circle. Pwedeng mas maliit or pwedeng mas malaki. Therefore, there is a particular value of r. Pero they are almost the same as this one. Idadagdag nyo lang dun sa ilalim yung pinaka-radius niya. Okay? So, I hope you learned something from this short video and I hope you'll do well in the final exam. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you.